flag, and yeah, I think it sort of spits on the grave of the people that have died well under your care.
Okay.
So do you mind taking it off me, please? I find it offensive.
I'm sorry that you find it offensive that I'm honouring fallen officers. Bear in mind that some of them officers have been my friends, so I won't be removing that. And if you've got an issue, there's a Freedom of Information Act that's available online that Ma'am Kennedy, our Chief Constable, is happy for.
At first, it looked like nothing. Just another calm, routine moment outside a police station. No obvious threat, no visible danger, no reason to expect what came next. Then authority stepped in, suspicion took over, and a simple interaction spiraled into accusations, symbols, and the terrifying possibility that one false report could have pushed this somewhere irreversible. So how did something this ordinary end up on the edge of something so serious? This isn't staged, and it isn't stock footage. This is real life captured by the laughing auditor. Every second you're watching actually happened. The full, unedited source video is in the description. Transparency is a duty, not a choice.
Why?
Roger, thank you. We've just had reports. I can obviously see that it's a tripod that you've been walking through traffic with. A truncheon.
A truncheon?
Yeah. But I can obviously see from there that it's obviously a tripod for your camera. All right, okay.
Excellent observation skills.
What are you in traffic for? What's the reason that you're in the traffic?
What traffic?
College Street traffic. I think it was a driver who's rang us and told us that you was manoeuvring
traffic
through.
On the road?
Yeah. That you was manoeuvring through traffic.
No.
Nothing at all?
No, not through traffic, no.
All right, okay. You wasn't swinging it around, was you?
Swinging what around?
What, like truncheon?
The old bobbies do. Swinging it around like that.
Oh, not for many years. We've not done that.
A camera tripod becomes a truncheon in seconds, and the stop begins with suspicion built on panic and somebody else's story.
So what is it? Does it extend? What's it do?
That is what you said it is. It's a tripod.
And it stays that size, does it?
Yeah, sorry, am I being detained right now?
Say again?
Am I being detained?
No, just asking you questions.
All right.
Does it get bigger, or is it just that size?
It depends. Depends on who you're looking at, I suppose.
Oh, well, certainly not looking at me.
No, it is what it is. It's a tripod. What's the issue with it?
It's that, just the issue that when, obviously, if you're walking through traffic with that hanging out to your pants, or if, as we was told, swinging it round.
Swinging it round?
Yeah.
No, I wasn't swinging anything round. I'm not much of a swinger.
Well, that's the phone call that we've had, so obviously, that's why I've come for
Who called you?
I could see it. Say again?
Who called you?
He asked the only question that matters early. Free to leave or already trapped inside a polite performance of authority?
It's just one of the drivers on the road.
Can I get the CAD number for that, please?
No, a CAD number?
A CAD number, C-A-D.
A CAD number?
Yeah, it's like the reference number for the report.
For what reason?
For my own personal purpose. It contains my personal information, so I'm entitled to a copy of it.
It doesn't contain your personal information.
Well, it does. So how did you know it was me then?
Because it says a white hoodie with what appears to be a truncheon.
So someone's given my description.
Yeah.
So that's my
your personal information.
That's my personal. It's identifiable information. Of course it is.
Yeah, but there could be 23 other people in town with a white hoodie.
So why have you
only come out
right
because they've said you've got a truncheon. I've told you.
Swinging it around.
Yeah.
I've told you. Did you see me swinging it around?
I didn't know, but I'm still going to speak to you because that's what the call's come in. If the public phone me now.
The refusal sounds small, but this is where transparency starts narrowing and a simple encounter hardens into principle and control.
Well, I don't believe the public. I'm not doing my job.
So now that you've spoken to me, I'm assuming you'll then go and put on the report that, you spoke to this gentleman, blah, 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 blah. Now that's my personal information, so therefore, I'm entitled to a copy of the CAD number.
Right,
of course
okay.
I am.
So are you going to give me your personal details then, so I can put it on the log?
Do I need to give you my personal details?
You don't have to give me your personal details.
No, I'm not going to give you my personal details.
Okay, so then the log won't have your personal details.
It'll have my description on it.
It's got a description on it, and you happen to match that description.
Do you mind identifying yourself from the police?
Say again?
Do you mind identifying yourself from the police?
Yeah, Sergeant 5836 Prescott.
Prescott,
yes.
Right, okay. What's that flag you've got on there?
That's fallen officers, that.
So, like, all due respect, like, how many police officers have fallen?
Since.
Once identification is forced out, the argument widens. It is no longer just about a stop. It becomes culture, too.
To the beginning of time.
So say for the last 100 years, how many police officers have fallen?
For the last 100 years, I think if my last calculation was, bear with me, it was around the 6 600-700 mark.
I think that's grossly overestimated.
Grossly overestimated?
Yeah, it's grossly overestimated. Do you know how many people have died in police custody in the same amount of time?
Okay. No, are you going to tell me? No?
No, I'm asking you. Do you know?
No.
It's about 10 times the figure of the amount of police officers that have died in the same amount of time.
Okay.
So when people see that flag, it's a contentious issue for some people. So I would request that you take it off, because you've defaced the Union flag, and yeah, I think it spits on the grave of the people that have died well under your care.
Okay.
Symbols matter because institutions wear them publicly. The badge becomes a mirror, reflecting grief for some and contempt for others.
So do you mind taking it off me, please? I find it offensive.
I'm sorry that you find it offensive that I'm honouring fallen officers. Bear in mind that some of them officers have been my friends, so I won't be removing that. And if you've got an issue, there's a Freedom of Information Act that's available online that Ma'am Kennedy, I was constantly happy for police officers.
Yeah, no, it varies force by force, I understand that. And I'm pretty certain Merseyside Police, you're right, are probably allowed to wear it, but I just find it offensive. I find it for the multiple reasons that I've explained to you.
Well, I'm sorry that you find it offensive.
Do you mean identify yourself, please?
Yes, it's Constable 983 Beard, based at St Helens Police Station.
What's your name, sorry?
Beard.
Beard, right, okay. Who's your beard?
I've not got one.
You should get one.
His refusal is calm, but calm can still wound. Conviction without reflection is often the most immovable kind of all.
Yeah, so I'm only checking, as I say, because I could see the black thing sticking out, and because we've told it's a truncheon, that's why I'm going to speak to you. I don't need to search it because I'm quite happy that it was a tripod. That's why I said I can see it's a tripod.
Yeah, no, you're fine in that respect.
But obviously, I've still got to come in.
But I wasn't walking through traffic. I don't know who told you that.
Well, that's the report that we got.
I was walking around the car park.
Yeah.
That's not traffic, is it? It's parked vehicles.
They told us it was on actual College Street.
It's madness, that's ridiculous.
Listen, we get things rang into us all the time. When we get there, there's a 10-car pile-up, and when we get there, 2 cars are bumped into each other. It always gets exaggerated a little bit.
Yeah.
And I can understand in this.
What's the pin for?
Say again?
What's the pin for?
Which pin?
Even the officer admits reports get exaggerated, yet exaggeration still carries force when it travels through police radio as fact.
Well, I can see you've got the flag.
Yeah.
That's what I call it.
Yeah.
But no, the little star one, what's that for?
That's another one honouring fallen officers.
Is it? Right, okay. Fair enough. So you're not going to remove the patch then, no?
I'm not going to remove the patch, no.
Right, okay.
That's what I wear that to one of my fallen colleagues. Up and down the country, as well as across the globe. I know that's Union Jack.
I can only ask the question, you know, if you don't want to do that, that's completely up to you.
No, I won't be removing it.
And you're not going to give me the card number either, no?
It's not got no personal information
it pertains to me, so I am entitled to a copy of it. And what's going to happen is that if you don't give me it, fine, that's up to you again. But it means then I'm going to have to lodge a complaint against you and get it that way. And
The complaint threat changes the temperature. Once accountability enters the conversation, every refusal starts sounding less accidental and more chosen.
I'd much rather just give me it now because I'm entitled to it anyway. And if you give me it now, you cut out the middleman and it saves all the hassle.
But your personal information's not on that log.
But the call's pertaining to me.
It's just a description, it's not your personal information.
It doesn't matter, it's pertaining to me.
I'm not giving you the log number because I know
you're not going to give me it.
Because you want to find out who's called in under data protection, we can't tell you that.
I can't find that information out from getting a card number. No. You don't give that information out, and you know that. You know that it's because it's pertaining to me.
If you want to put a complaint in to get it, do that, but I won't be giving you the log number because your personal information's not on.
Let me ask you another question before you skedaddle. Is it a crime to make a false report to the police?
Define false.
Giving false information to the police to get the police to come out and talk.
Data protection becomes the shield here, not for vulnerability, but for convenience. And that difference is what makes it sting.
Talk to someone and do whatever they need to do.
I think there's too many grey areas. I don't think it's as black and white as you can see. In this situation, it appears that someone has observed a black coloured object that initially from a distance looked like a stick of some sort.
Okay.
So they've made that call.
Appreciate that.
That's why I've come out and checked, and straight away I seen it and I was like, it's obviously a tripod.
But the first thing he said, one of the first things he says to me was, I was walking through traffic swinging what appeared to be a baton about.
A truncheon.
A truncheon. So that's what you were told, right? So that's quite a serious thing. Like if somebody's walking about, swinging a baton or a truncheon about, then that's a serious issue that you guys would need to deal with.
This is the real fracture. A false report can distort reality, then hide behind interpretation once the damage is done.
Because they're potentially in possession of an offensive weapon. So if someone's made a report saying that I was swinging about what appeared to be a baton and that didn't happen, then surely that would cross that threshold to being a false report. Why not?
Not a false report.
Why not?
Because they're passing the vehicle and they've seen you with a black stick of sorts. They've not been able to get this close to go. That's a tripod.
Right, but they said I was walking. They said I was walking through traffic. So if they were driving, then I must have been close enough to them that they must have seen what I was doing if I was walking through traffic. If they're driving a vehicle, like there's only one road here, this road here. So
I wouldn't say that met the threshold for a false report where I would then prosecute someone who's phoning in a concern that they thought that someone had a weapon. I wouldn't.
He keeps pushing because the answer matters. If nobody owns the lie simply becomes part of procedure now.
I wouldn't prosecute someone for that at all. And I don't think the public purse would appreciate the prosecution.
I think the public purse, I don't think that's your position to give an opinion on. I don't think you get paid to give an opinion on that. You get paid to uphold the law.
Yeah.
And the law is quite clear that if you make a false report to the police, it's a criminal offence. You know it's a criminal offence to make a false report to the police. And what I'm saying to you is, I was nowhere near traffic. I wasn't swinging anything about, certainly not this. Whether it's a baton, a truncheon, or a gimbal, or a tripod, whatever you want to call it, that didn't happen. Categorically didn't happen. So that report itself is false.
In your interpretation of it, yes.
No, it's factual. It's not interpretation. No, it's a factual. You've got CCTV. I tell you what, why don't you go and check the
That line cuts straight through it. Uphold the law, not your feelings. Professional discretion starts sounding dangerously like selective mercy.
CCTV and see if I was swinging anything about and seeing if I stepped into traffic or anything like that.
Well,
and come to your own conclusion.
Purpose for it is that it's just
Well,
that you're
there is.
very upset that I've come and spoken
I'm not
to you
upset at
about-
all. No, because you've been relatively pleasant, to be fair.
Yeah.
So I'm not upset at all. I don't mind having a conversation. What I do resent is that someone has made a false report to you guys to try and get me into some sort of trouble, as far as I'm concerned. Okay? And what I'm telling you is that information is categorically false, and you're not willing to do anything about that. Like think of the implications. People watching this might turn around and say, well, I'll phone up the police and say that my next door neighbour that I hate is walking about with a shotgun when he's not walking about with a shotgun. And then what happens? You know, like...
And we deal with that on it.
You can hear the resentment deepen. Being falsely framed is bad enough. Being expected to accept it quietly is worse.
Its own merits.
Right, but I'm asking you to deal with this in its own merits, because as I say, like, thankfully you've come out, you're relatively calm, no issues as such, but other police officers might not have reacted like that. You're armed with a taser, you get a report of some person with potential an offensive weapon, you might be inclined to deploy your taser, you might be inclined to take things a step further. Now, thankfully you've not. But that's what I'm saying, there's further implications that could have happened and that might happen in the future.
Each incident on it.
And that's why I think it's imperative that you find out who made that call and they're reported for making a false police report, because what I'm saying that they said to you is completely false.
Okay.
Now the hidden risk is named. A careless lie about a weapon can summon force before truth even enters the room.
But as I say, that's your interpretation. They've been passing in a vehicle and seen you with a black stick in the hand. So the fact that they've used the word truncheon, I don't think they're very clear on what they've actually seen. But that wouldn't mean me as a police officer try to track that driver down and say, I'm going to prosecute you now for giving a false report. They've just rang in and said, this is what I can see, and it appears to be a truncheon.
I think you're talking nonsense. Sorry, but you're
Again,
you're talking,
your interpretation.
you're talking out your backside, and it is what it is. You know what I mean? Like, I know you're not going to do nothing about it.
Absolutely
It's exactly. Like, so it's something I'm going to have to deal with at a later time.
Okay.
But
By the end, patience is gone. The language sharpens because the logic has collapsed, and everyone standing there knows it.